back. We hope you enjoyed that baggy musical. We hope you joined us to dance. Now we want to talk about culture, cultural heritage and traditions, the preservation. Okay, and we have someone who is a son of the soil, okay, in the FCT, and he wants to join us to do this. Please join me as I welcome Honorable Abdullahi Adamu Candido, the immediate past chairman, Abuja Municipal Area, and also the immediate past Monday Secretary, Transportation Secretariat, FCT. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you, Madam Cynthia. Good
Thank
morning.
you so much for joining us.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for all these, what I call it, roles that you have played
Thank
in
you.
the Federal Capital Territory.
I
And like
appreciate
I said
that.
earlier, we are looking for a bigger one.
We thank God for everything. Thank God for
A
everything.
bigger one.
It's my
So
pleasure.
we are talking about preservation and cultural heritage tradition in the Federal Capital Territory.
Yeah.
Can you just briefly explain to us some of these cultural heritage?
History will not be fair to anyone who lost his culture or who pretend not to have any history. And therefore, for those of us who are aborigines, the original settlers of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, I think all of us have our traditions, we have our culture, we have our all kind of heritage. For instance, though I don't come from the Bagi extractions, I belong to the Gondra people. The Bagis, either Bagis or Baris, have a common identity of how they live their life. Those of you who are not aborigines here, you will discover that the Bagis are known for their, putting or carrying the load at the shoulder, and they will tell you, of course, they are respecting the head because the head contains a lot of things. The Baris do the same thing, so that this is the similarity. We have the Bagis, we have the Baris, and then certain part of the Basas. Okay, the Basa people also who are of FCT origins also carry their load on the shoulders as well. Then, if you look at from where I come from, the Gondara people, we don't carry on our shoulders, okay? Because for us, every part of the body must be respected. But we assume that the head, is the master of all, right? And therefore, it can afford to carry anything. Even if the head is sick, it can still carry certain things. So most of us have this belief that the head is the master of the body. If you go also as far as culture is concerned and traditions, we have so many things in common. Similarities of how we go to farm, right? How we hold our hoes, how whatever we think we do in the farm is they're almost the same. But how do we preserve it? Now, preserving it now, it's something that has to be well articulated by those of us, either the literate ones, the elites in particular, and those of us who also find themselves in office. The traditionalists, I mean, the people who are, locals at home, may not have the capacity on how to preserve this culture because culture has been extincted. Certain things are just been, because of the volume of people into the Federal Capital Territory, even our culture have been phased out. But how do we preserve them? Because we have to preserve them so that we don't lose ourselves. We don't forget where we come from. Our identity must be preserved. And therefore, it means it behoves on the government now, not the people in particular, because the people may not have the capacity to do the preservation. Because certainly most of the, cultural areas that is being maybe either in the land form or what have you are already eaten up by development of government. Government has taken certain things that were usually preserved. For instance, if you go to on your way to Lugbe, if you go to Lugbe side, right inside, I come from Jua community. We have history that in Jua community, they live in several places before they finally settle in the present where they are now. Now, where they used to be around Lugbe side, if you go there, you will see artifacts. Yeah, you will see artifacts of people, okay, those who lived years ago, centuries back, before they, move from the Lube part of Jua down to where they used to be now. Okay, there are artifacts of people, there are graveyards of people. How can they not be preserved? Okay, we have it in history that in those days You dare not even play with the corpse of a dead body, right? Because certain things can happen to you. But those bodies are lying there. How do we preserve and then maintain them? That now becomes the obligation of those in government. Then two, the people themselves. Let me be fair to our people in this regard. The people haven't given lots for the unity of the Federal Capital Territory. I think those in authority at FCTA level and local council areas need to do everything possible so that the history of these people are not just faced away. You go to Ushapa side, that is where you have a renowned pottery center, okay, where the baggies mold blocks, what do you call it, where you put in water, okay, to preserve water that will give you, just like you are drinking water from fridge, okay,
like a calabash
the
where
pot,
they-
the
okay,
pot,
the pot,
okay, the pottery center in Ushapa is an area where the government need to come in now to preserve it. The people may not have the capacity to do that because themselves they're even managing, they're struggling to survive.
That would be beautiful. We know that urbanization, modernization comes with a lot of,
Challenges. Yeah,
challenges, and
exactly.
we also have it comes with
Development too, yeah.
So how would you say that this urbanization and modern, how would you say it has affected, in the area of preserving our cultural heritage? Has it affected it?
The modernization has affected our own traditions in so many areas, okay, forcing us to learn the culture of other Nigerians. But what I'm trying to, put across is that it shouldn't be in that manner, that the people who has this place as theirs in the past, but that now has become the capital city of the federal of Nigeria. At least they need not to be forgotten. Even if they do not have the capacity, they should be supported and assisted by the government of the day, right? By ensuring that they put in place certain measures that can preserve these traditions and culture. I just mentioned Ushapa. You go to Kwali, we have the Kwali Pottery Center also. And even in the Nigerian, the government also understood the fact that there used to be in history a lady called Ladi Kwali in Nigeria. This Ladi Kwali came, and she was born and brought up in the Federal Capital Territory. Okay, she's a household name in this country. Now, how do you preserve what she has done that even made her stood out in this nation? There are so many things that can be preserved, but like I said, the people of the Federal Capital Territory may not have the wherewithal to maintain this culture now. They need to be supported by the government. And happily, I'm happy now that the area councils, of course, any area council that wishes to preserve the culture without even waiting for the support of the FCT administration can as well start doing something, because you have your people, e.g., if I come from if I'm the chairman of Gwagolada Area Council, you should be able to ask, why are the barriers? What do you do? What do you want us to preserve for you? Why are the chorus in Gwagolada Area Council? What do you want as history to be preserved? The chairman of the area council of the government there can be able to put things in place so that certain culture can be preserved. In Nama, where I come from, we have three prominent indigenous tribes. We have the Baris, we have the Gwandaras, we have the Gades, we have the Basas. The chairman of the area council should do something by asking these tribes, okay, going into their history, finding out what truly showcase them, what makes them stand out culturally, and then you can find something to do. Those who work with me in AMA will remember that in 2020 or 2021 thereabout, I wanted to do something in that manner. Unfortunately, we couldn't have. We tried to look at the secretariat, and we cannot be able to afford, what was required in order to, keep like a museum of our cultural artifacts. Unfortunately, we couldn't have it done. But I believe government is a transient, government is a continuous thing. The government of the day should be able to ask from the education department, what was it that the chairman Canada was planning to do in order to preserve our culture? They should be able to be informed. Then, of course, put something in that manner so that the people of the Federal Capital Territory can now appreciate the Bari, the Gwandara, the Koros of whatever we have.
Beautiful to have something like a museum.
Exactly.
Where people who come in will say, okay, this is what Federal Capital Territory is all about.
Exactly.
As a prominent son, if someone is coming into the FCD for the first time and they ask you to talk about your people, as we round up, few minutes, what would you say about your people?
Beautiful people, very calm, very friendly. If I say accommodating, I think I'm belowing it. I should say too accommodating, right? Crisis-free people who do not have problem with all the 9 indigenous tribes in FCT are very peace-loving. Okay, I will not distinguish one out of it to say this is the most loving kind of FCT indigenous people. All the 9 indigenous people of FCT are very, very accommodating. No wonder. That is why you can see anywhere you go. Okay, you can even call all of us baggies. Okay, if you don't know who is who, okay, but we accept to bear whatever name you give, but everybody knows that he has a culture, he has a language that he speaks. But all of us are peace loving, very considerate, very accommodating, and Nigerians, I believe, will be the first to even testify that the people who were found here are so loving and very accommodating.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Talking with Honorable Akinai Adamu candidate. You already know him, okay? You can see the passion he has for his people. And he has told us how we need to preserve cultural traditions and the cultural heritage of the people in the Federal Capital Territory. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back because the program is still Good Morning Abuja. Joining us, this is still Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5, the Unity Station. Those were our African proverbs of unity. Okay, I'm sure some of them you are familiar with them. Now, because we want to talk about unity in diversity, there is something, it's a topic that is necessary for us to talk about it. And we have someone who has passion for unity. For us as a Nigerian, he has this passion to make sure that we are together. Okay, please join me as I welcome Dr. Raphael Smith. Okay, he is the chairman, Uniting Africa in Law. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, and everyone watching.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. Now, unity in diversity.
Yes.
What does it mean to you and to a layman watching? What is the meaning?
Okay, when we look at the concept of unity, first you take the word unity. You understand that unity has no tribe, has no religion, has no skin color, has no age grade, has no, whether you're rich or you're poor. The first word there is unity. Then the diversity comes in, bringing to the togetherness despite our individual differences. So to me, I feel unity in diversity is a major concept that unites each and every one of us. When you go to the market, you don't want to know who is Igbo, who is Yoruba, who is Hausa. The first thing is we buy from the same market. We sell in the same market. So it's important to be in unity despite our diversity. For me, that's my passion.
Wow. I love that. The unity does not recognize color of your skin, whoever you, like you said, you go to the market, you don't begin to ask, are you an Igbo person before you buy
that's right.
So that's why it is necessary for us to be in unity.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. So let's look at from your experience, how unity in diversity has been able to help us, in our communities.
You see, I grew up in the northern part of Nigeria, even though I'm originally from Akwa Ibom. And I can say very emphatic that most of the major breakthroughs I've had in business, ministry, and in other sector of my life has come from our brothers from the Muslim part.
Wow.
Yes. In this country, I happen to have a mother who is in the political sector. She's still in Kaduna till today. I schooled in ABU Zaria. The people who gave me where to stay, who I grew up with, my friends Kali and Aziz, in the days of primary school, were all Muslims. We eat together from the same plate. They come to my own house. We go to church together. I follow them to mosque.
Wow.
This was when I was growing up.
Wow.
But you see, those days were beautiful days.
Honestly.
There were beautiful days. We didn't want to know who you are in the society. All we just wanted to know is you are a believer and you are a Nigerian first. Your ethnicity didn't come into play. What you do for a living didn't come into play. People were mindful of humanity. So when we begin to have this conceptuality of humanity first, it brings us to the place of unity. You know, I was doing a study and I discovered that in the North, I think in the early days of the 70s, the 60s, I was born in the 90s though, but experience, exposure, and reading of books has availed us this information. We discovered that in the North those days, if you're a traveler, the Northerners, they built these huts for travelers, you know. So when you don't need to go to a hotel, you just need to knock at a door. I'm coming from so to so, and they give you a place to stay. That's unity. They didn't ask if you are an Igbo man, if you are from Akwa Ibom, or what you can do. They just give you food and give you a place to stay. And also the same thing in other parts of Nigeria. So I think if we can embrace this and reawaken this awareness, Nigeria and Africa will be a better place for us all.
In us trying to be united, what are some of the challenges that you see?
To be very honest, in our organization of Uniting Africa with Love, we have an office here in Abuja, Nigeria. And we've been to several states like Sokoto, Zaria, Zamfara, you know, in those states. Sorry, I'm talking more of the North because I feel they have touched me in a special way.
Wow.
And so it is our time to give back, not just to the North, even to the South, to the East, and to the West. One of the major challenges we have now is that people no longer relate with the way they used to relate when we were growing up again. We have allowed our differences to take the center stage, which is very bad.
Deep into us.
That's right. We have forgotten the place of love. You see, when we embrace the place of love, it's easy to touch the life of a common man without knowing where he's from, what tribe he speaks, who he is. That's not relevant. The most important thing is touching their hearts in a most special way. Like I told you, the people who have affected me the more positively are our brothers from the North. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not from Kaduna State. But I've lived well over 30 something years in the North. My parents are still there, even as I speak to you now. So if there was no unity, that won't happen.
Okay, now what do we do in terms of education, our younger ones? What do we do? How do you think unity in diversity can be, I don't know, can be taught, from that early stage since things are the way it is now? So what do you think?
There are three major factors I want us to look into this. One, the government must be willing to empower the teachers, not just the teachers, but relevant organization that is all about the unity, peace, stability, love. They should be empowered to reach out the suburb, the rural areas. Because you see, if you catch them young, you save the nation. And you see these children, when they are the age of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, they don't know what is disunity.
They don't know, honestly.
They love each other. I was watching something on social media, on Facebook precisely, and I saw a woman holding an umbrella. This is in Asia. So the child also was holding his own umbrella with the other hand. She held his hand. There was a little boy that was without an umbrella, and the rain was beating him. That child beat the mother's hand, took his umbrella, held the boy's hand. Yes, that is unity in diversity. So I don't care if my father is a billionaire, the one who is not privileged, we should be together. Pastors need to enforce it in their church. Imams need to enforce it and preach about it in their mosques. We need to start catching these people young and start telling them, Christians are not your problem. Igbos are not your problem. Yorubas are not your problem. Your fellow Muslims are not your problem. We are together.
We are one.
When we begin to enforce this in the mosques, in the school, in the church, in the hospitals, you will discover that the concept will go deep down. Because I must tell you, man, your days are already wrapping up. My days were in our prime. But I fear for the generation that is coming. Because the generation coming, they don't even know what love is all about. You see social medias. You see how they bash elders without respect or dignity. You see fathers of 70, 80 years, young boys talk to them with, and I begin to wonder, where did we miss it? I earnestly pray and wish that mothers, fathers, and aunties and uncles hearing me, please don't spare the rod. Please don't. And pastors, leaders, government, please let's look at this young generation. The future of Nigeria depends on them. What we do today will determine if we will have a great nation tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wish we would have more time. I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
we need to, is a topic, unity in diversity.
That's right.
Is a topic we need to keep, emphasizing
That's
on
right.
it. Because just like we're talking about children,
Yes.
the social media has become their parents.
That's right.
Insult everywhere. No respect.
No respect, no
There are
regard.
certain things you don't say before the elders.
That's right.
But these days,
No.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Raphael Smith.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
fact, you need to come back.
Thank you so
You need
much.
to come back.
I appreciate
We've
it.
been discussing unity in diversity, and you can see the passion at which he's just explaining it. And it's something that all of us, I like what he said, unity does not know skin color, does not know the language you speak. And when we go to the market, you don't ask anyone, where are you from, before you start buying something. So that means it's us first.
Yes.
We are one
That's
first before any other thing. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for more for you. Well, that was health and beauty benefits of tomatoes. I'm sure you're wondering. You say, wow, these same tomatoes that you eat every day. Yes. So you can actually do a lot for your health, or your beauty. You can add it to your diet and also to your beauty regime. All right, we have a guest in the house, and this time we want to look at environmental conservation. We have someone who has passion for environment. Okay, she is also a human resource manager and an environmental advocate. Yes, I'll put it that way. And she's someone you are familiar with. Please join us and welcome Dr. Charity Azona Apambo. Thank you so much. See the way you're
Good morning. Thanks for inviting me to the show.
Thank you for joining us, and thank you for making sure that, in the little spaces we have, we plant trees to make sure our environment is conserved. Thank you so much. So
You're
let's
welcome.
look at how we can balance, our environment
Yes.
with tourism.
Okay.
So, because I know you're also into
tourism. Yes, I am. Okay, good morning once again. Balancing tourism and environmental conservation. It's a very important question that you just asked, because I believe that, okay, let me also say that I'm the FCT coordinator for Tourism Volunteers Network.
Wow.
So part of what we do is promoting tourism through different outreach and program, which environmental conservation is one of them. And then I have a Green Time project, which is my company project that I'm also using to collaborate with the tourism volunteers and FCT Department of Tourism to ensure that this is wide, it has a broader reach, and then we'll have a more impactful conservation awareness. So in balancing the both of them, you can actually not talk about tourism without talking about the environment, because the attraction that drives tourism is the environment. When you go somewhere and everywhere is dirty, the environment is polluted, of course, tourists will not visit such place. So you have to ensure that the environment is clean. You need to ensure that you protect our natural resources. You need to ensure that the biodiversity and then the wildlife, the species that we have there, they are all conserved or preserved. Because when you allow them to go into extinction by poaching and all that, these things will disappear, and then there won't be something to look at. That attraction that you want to go out there to see some wild animals, or you want to see a serene landscape, which is tourism. You won't see those things when you go out there. So you need to balance the two of them to ensure that we protect our environment, to ensure that we conserve what we have, and to ensure that we also induce or infuse whatever we can to the environment to make the environment a better place and a better destination and an attractive one at that.
Let's look at how communities can be empowered to benefit or to participate in this
environmental conservation. That's a very beautiful question. We can actually bring our community into it because whatever you do and you don't get to the grassroots, let me say you've not started. You have to carry the community along in whatever you're doing. You have to also make them to take ownership of your project or outreach.
From your experience, what would you say are some of the challenges, in trying to conserve our environment?
Okay, there are a lot of challenges in trying to conserve our environment. The climate change is one of it. Then the local community is also another one because of what I just said, ownership. If they don't understand what you're doing, it becomes a challenge. They won't let you go into that, go to that land or use the land or try to even conserve the land because they feel that you're a threat to them.
Or and then want to come and take over there.
Yes, and then the government and stakeholders need to go down to these grassroots and make them understand the effect of conservation, make them understand why such areas want to be conserved. And the government also have to create a demarcation between the green area and their farmlands because they can actually go and farm in some of these areas thinking, okay, it's their farmland. But these are government reserved areas that should be green. So the government needs to bring policies, that will make everybody know their stake, their position and the part they have to play to ensure that nobody is shortchanged and nobody is feeling like he or she is being marginalized or something like that.
What are some other success stories? How excited are these communities when they see that you have come to do this? And then considering the fact that I saw where the secondary school, the younger ones.
Yeah. So okay. So what our initiative, what we try to do is like a catch them young thing. So it will bring children into the initiative because you need to start educating these children at the right time how to participate in tree planting and the importance of environmental conservation. By the time you educate them properly, I think everything is about sensitization and education. If you don't empower people, they don't have an idea of what you're doing. But when you empower them, they see the need, they see the success. Yes, sensitize them. They understand it properly, and then you see everybody wants to be part of it. The school children were very excited. They planted trees, and I'm telling you, tomorrow, next tomorrow, they know that they planted a tree here, and they'll keep going there to look at the tree. So environmental conservation is something that we advise everybody. Planting of tree is very, very important. Trees are important to our health, to our own well-being. They are important to our environment because they help protect our environment as well. So I encourage everyone to have the opportunity. You have a space in your house, you plant a tree because that tree will be there for you. It will be there for your children. It will be there for your great-grandchildren. And you'll be proud even when you're not there. Like you planted a seed that, is serving a purpose in that particular community or home.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See how I'm just smiling. I can, why I'm smiling. Imagine, okay, I've gone to, like you said, your daughter went to the planted and once in a while you say, okay, let me go and check on my tree. And then imagine you seeing the tree grow. Imagine you planted a mango tree and you're going there, see people, and you say, this is
I planted this tree.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful and it's very good to catch them young.
Yes.
And thank you so much for helping us to make sure that our environment is attractive for tourists. Tourists to come, and then also making sure that
climate.
Thank you so much. So we've been speaking with Dr. Charity Azona Bambo. You can see she's so passionate for what she's doing. Yes, I told you she is a human resource manager and also an environmental advocate. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, please don't go anywhere. We'll go for this break and when we return, Good Morning Abuja will come. It's good to know that you are still there. Thank you so much for staying tuned today. Do you know that today is World Babu Day? Yes, and we have the National President, Babu Aratan Farmers Association of Nigeria in the house to talk to us about today. Okay, what they have today. Please join me as I welcome Chief John Aji Ogu, in the studio. Sir,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
All right, so a lot of people will be wondering, Babu and Ratan farmers or farming or whatever. So what is it all about?
But today is World Bamboo Day, celebrated over the world, initiated by China by International Bamboo and Rattan Development called IMBA.
Okay.
It's a day we commemorate the bamboo, which is a very, very useful plant in Nigeria. Bamboo is good all over the world. Bamboo is good for ozone layer depletion, is for erosion control, is it's a barrier plant. Is so many things. Almost everything in this studio can be done of bamboo. Bamboo clothing material in Turkey is the most expensive textile material. Clothing, bamboo, yes, bamboo. Use bamboo to make cotton, make silk. Bamboo is cooler than cotton, more absorbent than cotton by 40%, and cooler than cotton. So it's very good material for making wears. Yes, seriously.
Bamboo. Thinking.
Oh, bamboo is all over.
I've always seen it, the cities.
Yes, you see, why I am here today is during the last year World Bamboo Day, we organized by Federal Ministry of Environment. We participated in an association, that is Bamboo and Rattan Farm Association. We are partner to the occasion. There was this director from Federal Ministry of Environment, Mr. Lawrence Adigwe. In his opening address, he was talking about extending bamboo farming to children, making children understand what bamboo farming is, the importance of bamboo. Because if, as a young person, you know the importance of bamboo, all your life you will not play with bamboo. But for right now, we are playing with bamboo. We say there's a lot of bamboo in Nigeria. It's not true. There bamboo exists in many areas in Nigeria. But if we start utilizing bamboo for a tenth of what bamboo should use, the bamboo will vanish in a short while. For instance, somebody was asking me, why plant bamboo? And I was happy. I was just asking me, I saw a truckload of bamboo passing. I said, that's a truckload of bamboo going for, yes, it's a marketplace where they sell it.
Okay.
People go there to buy it for different purposes. I said, look at the size of the bamboo you're seeing there. Is this size of bamboo you saw here last time? He said, no, the size are reducing. I said, that tells you a story. That even when they're going to fetch the bamboo for this construction purposes, which is the only one using it for now, it's already getting reduced. Like if you go to any wood, if you go to any sawmill now, you find that woods that are not matured are what they are not having. Because the main woods are going into extinction. Say to happen to bamboo, if you don't start planting bamboo now, so that when we start using bamboo in a very, even the smallest part of the way we want to use it, see that bamboo start going into extinction. For instance, what industry we have in Nigeria using bamboo is for toothpick only. But bamboo can do toothpick, bamboo can do so many other things, furniture and all that. So yeah, so we are saying that it is time to plant bamboo because in very short time, bamboo will go into extinction. For instance, the pencil we have today in Nigeria, pencil we have, most of them is a wooden pencil. So as wood is going into extinction, what do you use to substitute wood in pencil production?
Okay, so what activity do you have for today? Is there any celebration?
Yeah, what we have planned for today is to take bamboo to schools. Just because they just resumed, it wasn't possible to organize the students to come here. But I'm grateful to the director, FCT Secondary School Board, who has graciously approved that government secondary school, that it should be a pilot project areas where we'll go, explain what bamboo is for the children, arouse their consciousness and make them interested in bamboo, and then establish a mini bamboo nursery in schools there, so that they will start from now to learn what is bamboo. Because some people don't even know what is bamboo.
Okay, so what are the challenges for you? What are some of that round up? What are some of the challenges that farmers face, and what do you think can be done to help?
The very first challenge we faced as a station was we went to Ibadan and we are in cooperation with the Federal Forest Research Institute of Nigeria. We leased a small portion of the land in an area in Ibadan and established a small bamboo nursery. We did that because we were in the association, not knowing much about bamboo, wanted to depend on FRIN to train us. Just within a few months of our bamboo nursery growing, the tenants in the area called a meeting and must remove it. We will come and collect our money with the position for land and remove the bamboo. They don't want bamboo there. Say bamboo will bring witches, bamboo will bring the snakes and all that because they are not aware. Even in our first plantation in Abuja here, the person who gave us the land was having a lot of people criticizing it because I told him, I convinced him that because you complain that the malams, cows, come in to eat your sugarcane farm, we are going to use bamboo and create a barrier so that the cow can no longer penetrate into your farm. He said that's why he gave us land. So we now have a nursery growing there. By this time next year, bamboo is growing along to create barrier for his sugarcane. So that's just a sample of it. But the major problem we have is that there is no support from any governmental agency.
Honestly, this is interesting. It's amazing to know that we have another business because this is just business. And it's like we don't have
employment generation, employment creation for women and children.
And you can imagine taking the children from secondary school,
yes,
like you said,
yes.
and letting them, giving them this awareness. Yes. That means in future they have. Thank you so much. Thank you. And once again, I say happy celebration. I'm excited knowing that we have Bamboo and Rattan Farmers Association in Nigeria. Yeah. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I say it is time to plant bamboo for employment generation for the youth and women. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So you heard it from him. Are you looking for a business to go into, or you're a farmer, you want to also add another, what will I call it, another crop into your farming business? This one is another opportunity, free of charge. We have just given it to you. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.